Welcome back, everyone. You can probably guess what we're going to talk about. Even without the video title, you could have guessed what I'm going to be uploading a video on. Yes, the FIA has issued a statement over Max Verstappen and Christian Horner being booed at the F175 anniversary event. Do you know how wild that is for the FIA? Not Formula One, by the way, the FIA to issue a statement for Max and Christian. So, I'm going to get straight to the point. For the FIA, do they not think that other drivers or other teams deserves a statement when they're booed? This is the website of the FIA. Very, very big organization. They manage a lot of things in the motorsport world, if not all things in world motorsport. But it's rather disappointing to see the FIA only supporting Max Verstappen and Christian Horner when, this is an organization that covers the entire globe. So when we go to Europe and we go to the Netherlands and we go to Zandvoort by the beach, really wonderful, and other drivers get booed in Max Verstappen home's country. Well, it's not his home country. He was born in Belgium, but, who cares about the differences? They both speak some form of Dutch, different Dutch. Anyway, what's really interesting is that other drivers, such as Lewis Hamilton, have been booed, and it really seems as if no one cared. So there I say, especially at these races, there I say, there's never been any statements to support other drivers such as Lewis when they're booed. Granted, I don't support booing. You got to understand, it's, all drivers who participate to help us bring this sport together, the sport that we love. We don't really appreciate, we don't really condone booing. But I wouldn't go as far as to say we're going to issue a statement to address it, but only when some drivers are subject to it. Not when all drivers and all teams are subject to it, or all team principals are subject to it. Christian Horner got good reasons. Christian Horner has spent his entire lifetime in Formula One pissing people off. You can't be surprised if he's getting booed. Max Verstappen has spent his entire lifetime in Formula One also pissing people off, driving really fantastically, but also pissing people off, having some very strange driver characteristics and aggressive behavior, which many have said is over the line. And I think last season in 2024, Lando Norris got a taste of that. And I'm glad he did because they're best buds. And for the longest time, Lando would not see that side of Max. Well, I'm glad he's seen that side of Max now. Because it's funny, it's like they ignore it until it happens to them. Similar thing with Alex Albon, he's going to ignore these things until he's racing Max. Well, he'll never get to race Max. Lando is getting a taste of his own medicine. And I'm glad he is because for years he's criticized Lewis about Lewis having the fastest car and Lewis not winning every race. So if you have a really fast car, you don't win every race, you get criticized. You have a really fast car, you win every race, you get criticized. Yeah, they just never liked Lewis from the start, did they? But yes, FIA puts out a statement, and F1 Twitter has been burning them down and holding them accountable, fully accountable. We're going to go through some of those tweets. By the way, we are on Twitter. Remember to follow us over on Twitter at Race the Race Creator, complete UnBias HQ. It's going to be a fun time. Yeah, we've had some very interesting tweets, most notably from the F1 community. So we are going to go through that. One of the first tweets I saw was from this account, Sims. FIA released statements after the F175 event. And here's a screenshot of some of the quotes that were added. But what underpins sports at all levels is a culture of respect and such. It was disappointing to hear the crowd's tribalist reaction to FIA Formula One world champion Max Verstappen and his team principal CEO Christian Horner at the F1 launch event in London. Great rivalry throughout the history of motorsport have contributed to make it such an exciting experience for fans. They went on to say, Max and Christian have both contributed greatly to the sport we love. In the season ahead, we should not lose sight on that. Oh, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say you don't want our money? You see, because if you want our money, then we're allowed to say what we want and do as we please as long as it's not illegal, as long as it's within the realms of legality. You've never said anything against booing before. Isn't that ironic? You've never said anything against booing before, but now that it's on a world stage, you got booed, yeah. Now you're like, actually, you know what? I don't like that booing. I don't, especially when it's used against me. I don't like it, you know. Well, what happened when it happened to Lewis, you know, in Zandvoort? You didn't have a problem with it. You did not have a problem with it. There's no statements there, was there? Nope. In fact, Max Verstappen, you know, Max's question about, you know, Max, shouldn't you say, you know, tell the people, use the mic, tell the people not to boo other drivers? Max was like, it's not my issue. Close your ears. That's what he said. You don't like it? Close your ears. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You remember that. It also went on to say, as part of the FIA's commitment to protect the integrity of the sport, we're leading a coalition tackling online abuse in sport under the banner of our United Against Online Abuse campaign. We stand with all of our competitors, officials, volunteers, and fans to unite against this growing threat. We urge the sporting community to consider the impacts of their actions both online and offline. Oh my God, the humanities. We've never heard this before, especially when Lewis have experienced racism throughout his entire F1 career, especially online. You have any idea how much? Just go, if you don't believe me, just go into Lewis' comments. I think it's gotten a little bit better now, especially because of a lot of Lewis fans. We report the racists, but my goodness. I remember times you would open up Lewis, you know, Instagram account, look at his latest photos, and all you would see is monkey emojis. You would see people writing monkey. You'd see them, you know, with the poo emoji. They'll have all kinds of things, throwing hints and, you know, sly racism. Never has there been any FIA or Formula One intervention, any bloody statements. So why the hell should we care about this? Especially the Lewis fans who are like, listen, we've endured this for a very long time, especially online abuse. And now you're the one who wants to scream and cry. Go ahead, throw your toys out the prom, kick your legs, shout and throw your arms. We're just gonna look at you and laugh. We don't give a damn. And it's funny when the fans were literally talking about the new rules that are changing in F1, you completely ignore that. But you know, Christian Horner being booed is where you draw the line. Yeah, Christian bloody Horner. Christian Horner is the guy who loves to pick on everyone. He loves to say things and do things just to piss off Toto. He loves to have a go. He loves to make jokes and have fun. Why isn't he laughing anymore? Huh? You're getting a taste of your own medicine, Christian. Why aren't you laughing anymore, you ugly prat? Another retweet basically said a coalition against online abuse when they were booed in person is hilarious. Yeah, 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 yeah. The irony, the bloody irony. Like I tell you, they will go to any lengths to protect their tiny egos, or rather massive ego, but tiny confidence. Imagine if they had to deal with the racism Lewis has dealt with his entire life. Imagine if they had to deal with the abuse, online and in person abuse Lewis has dealt with his entire life. Oh my days. Imagine if they had to deal with this. Imagine if they had to deal with this, you know. Imagine if they had to participate in a sport and deal with this. You know, when this happened, you know, people were being racist to Lewis at the Spanish Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso basically said, Lewis, you should expect it. He literally said, yeah, you shouldn't be surprised. You should expect it. And, you know, I'm not surprised. Spain has never been a place of that stands up against racism, has it, you know? No, no, I don't think so. And we've seen racism all across the board in sport, you know, from black men drive, you know, joining a sport and dominating. They don't like that. To even recent black men dominating in football, they don't like that. Nah, 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 nah. They don't like us anywhere. But you know what? We're good with that, fam. Because, you know, Lewis is one black man in Formula One. Imagine how worried they're going to be. Imagine how they're going to have mental issues when it's not just Lewis anymore, but there's 5, 10 black drivers in Formula One. Then they're going to ask for equality. Imagine if there was 15 black drivers in Formula One and only 20 white drivers. They would be begging for equality. We're going to see, because there will be more black drivers coming to Formula One. You know, talent is universal, but access to great opportunities is not. There it is, Fernando Alonso. No racism problem in Spain. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna pay that. Yeah, I guess he was right. I guess I guess this wasn't in Spain. I guess this wasn't in Spain. None of this was in Spain, fam. None of this was in Spain. None of this. I'm just scrolling through to find these tweets for you. Now, let's just take a moment to enjoy this Aston Martin. I think this vehicle is going to be a real monster at the World's Endurance series. It's going to be a real monster. It sounds amazing. It looks amazing. It moves amazing. It's going to be a special one. I tell you that much. Hey, there's been a lot of people going on a trip recently. FIA is tripping, Ben Salam is tripping, Fernando Alonso is tripping, Bernie Ecclestone is tripping. They're all tripping, fam. Ben Salam tries to get on everyone's good side by saying something about V10s. We're not gonna buy it. 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 All I can say is that, this tweet speaks volume. More so than anything else. It really does. I love this fucking tweet. It's great. It's great stuff. Yeah, apparently, these guys will be in the World Endurance Championship. That's that's quite interesting. People started to share, these pictures, Rubens Barrichello, Michael Schumacher. I don't know what's going on there. But apparently, Schumacher's son, Barrichello's son, they're going to be in the World Endurance Championship. That's very interesting. I actually do want to watch the World Endurance Championship. I want to keep up with it. I would love to watch it if I can find a time. That's interesting. George Russell has a favorite song. He does. He has a favorite song.
I mean, the one song right now is Kendrick Lamar, "Not Like Us." George, it's a banger. George, I just didn't have you as Did you not like us. Nah.
Nah, I knew George was that guy. I knew he was that guy. It was way back in GP2 when I seen him pulling off some crazy overtakes, and he just had this weird confidence, this madman kind of confidence that's like, listen, I am the Schumacher, the Senna, the Prost all in one 2.5. It's like it's got this strange kind of way of moving. But then the way you race Max Verstappen in Formula One, especially from the 2022 Spanish GP, was it 2022 or 2023? Can't even remember. But the man was a monster. Racing Max in Azerbaijan, racing Max in other GPs, and then last year calling out Max blatantly and saying, yo, listen, Max is a guy who can't handle pressure. Basically, George was saying he ain't like us. They ain't like us. The Red Bull boys, the Red Bull gang, they're not like us, fam. They really ain't. That doesn't surprise me at all. So, it just doesn't. Now we're going to get to some of Tana's tweet. We are going to get to some of Tana's tweet. Whenever Thanos has a space on Twitter, it's fire. It's fire. Mercedes haven't been doing well in the last 3 years. What I've had to endure, the only thing that kept me going was one podcast, Quick Stop podcast, with Nasha, with Tandy, sometimes Tommy was on, and the other thing that kept me going was Thanos. Thanos, Twitter Spaces on Twitter kept me going, kept the Lewis Hamilton community going, because we would listen in, especially after a race. It'd be fantastic if I'm being completely honest. And there's been a whole loads of tweet going on. There's been a lot of tweets going on. Man wants to call Verstappen soft, but turns off his replies. Max could have cared less, and that's why he refused to do the FIA press conference properly, because he couldn't care about the repercussions. Hamilton fans just coping because they're star boys and media merchant. What is he talking about? Who's this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know who that is. Let's see what Tanner said. He couldn't care less, but went crying to his dad, boycott Sky because he didn't like Ted, reminding people of AD 21. Yes, that is big facts. Big facts. Red Bull, Verstappen, they boycott Sky. By the way, they're best friends with Sky. They're best friends with Sky F1. They boycott. Yeah, yeah. They were like, listen, you cannot be out here reminding people of the facts of what happened in AD 21. Why not? Yeah, he really doesn't give a shit. Nah, nah, nah. We all know Max is soft. We all know he's soft. George confirmed it last year. The guy can't handle he can't handle adversity. Those were George the politician. Those words exactly. He was like, this guy can't handle any adversity. He can't deal with it. And George cannot wait to start racing Max more often. I am telling you, bro. It's gonna unfold. It's gonna be the movie of the century. Oh my days. We haven't seen a rivalry this fierce in a long time. And I still don't think people understand the level of this rivalry. I think people just think, it's just George being George. George is not even as fast as Max. You're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong. You're gonna find out just how fast George is. He's only getting faster and he's only getting better. You're gonna fucking find out just how good this guy is. And in my opinion, George has the potential to be better than Max because George can actually handle adversity a lot better than Max. A whole lot better. Everyone struggles with adversity depending on what it is. George can handle that shit way better than Verstappen. I'll tell you that for a fact. R.I.P. Nicky Lauda. Nicky Lauda, the great Nicky Lauda, fam. R.I.P. You see the drip? I don't think they can drip like that. I don't think they got that like that. What is Just Verstappen trying to say? Just Verstappen delivers F1 shock. Max boycotts warning. Yeah. There's this thing. His daddy came out to say that MaxiPad won't attend next event if it's held in London. Bloody hell, mates. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. The whole family is got something going on, fam. Bloody hell. The whole family cannot deal with a little bit of British humor. They can't deal with it. And Christian is British. He loves a little good banter. He loves a good banter, fam. He loves a banter. They can't deal with it. Oh my days. Where will they go? I don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ. Just Verstappen. Why is that guy? That guy doesn't know how to shut the hell up. Just Verstappen has warned Formula One that Max will boycott a launch event next year if it again takes place in the United Kingdom following shameful boos during the F175 event. Can you hear the excitement in my voice, the happiness in my voice? Oh, I got a frog in my throat. Oh, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Whatever sets the Verstappens off, I want more of that. So give me more of the booze. People just gonna boo more. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a rough ride it's gonna be a rough one in Silverstone this year, lad. It's gonna be a rough one in Silverstone this year, lad. Shit, we got Lando going for a win in Silverstone. We got Lewis going for a win in Silverstone. We got George going for a win in Silverstone. These guys are all British. In itself, I thought it was a reasonable setup. Only I thought it was shameful what happened there with Red Bull Racing, Just Verstappen, in a conversation with Race Express. That Christian owner was booed like that and Max was booed too. Look, then you do it for Formula One. You are there to promote the sport and then you are booed by the public. Oh, that's so sad. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're gonna need therapy for this. They're gonna need therapy for the bullying. Oh my lord. My god, they'll need therapy for the bullying. Oh boy. Went on to say, I don't think that's acceptable. I get it, because Max is the only one who fires up those Englishmen and say exactly where it is. Imagine Imagine if the Verstappen had to deal with what happened to Lewis his entire life. Imagine if they had to deal with what happened to Lewis in AD 21. Like George said, Michael Massey would have to be running for his life. And to be honest, it isn't much difference for what he's doing. He's currently hiding for his fucking life. That ain't much of improvement, lad. That ain't much of an improvement. And I think Michael Massey fucking knew it that fucking race. He was like, would I rather be hated by the Hamiltons or the Verstappens? Easy decisions. If he did anything against the Verstappens, they'd kill him. This family is something else. I mean, this guy is dating Kelly Piquet, for God's sake. That racist whore. That racist woman who is a gold digger, by the way, because she keeps on fucking her way up until the F1 tree. She keeps on trying to find new F1 drivers to impregnate her. Kelly Bloody Piquet. Yeah, level of integrity is astounded. No, Max has no appetite for that. Just Verstappen said Max won't be attending the event in England again. After all, the booing. Yeah, if you're not going to attend any events in the UK, I'm glad. Just don't turn up to the fucking race this year in Silverstone, okay? Okay? Keep to your word. Stick to your words, man. Stick to your bloody words. You ain't gonna turn up for any events in the UK? Don't turn up to Silverstone. You can do without that 25 fucking points. You had a 65 fucking points lead last season. You can do without that 25 points in Silverstone. Do us a favor. Don't fucking turn up for the entire season, blood. Cause you see, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. The Mercedes boys. You know, even though my guy Hamilton is at Ferrari. You know, I love Mercedes cars. Mercedes did let me down sometimes, fam. They did let me down. They let me down. I'm still repping the silver arrow with the black heart. With the black heart. Cause you know Mercedes is everything black and silver. You know that. You know that. You see, this is where it's at. This man, they've done so much to this man. They stole his first championship in 2007. They stole his second championship in 2021. He lost another championship because of its unreliable McLaren in 2012. But you know what? He's living his best life. You know, he can deal with adversity very well. You know, some drivers aren't built like that. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. You think the cult is gonna let you disrespect Hamilton, bitch? I think that British Grand Prix is gonna be your last stop, Max. Oh, by the way, so this was very important. This was very important. You know, obviously, you know, they had to find a way to drag Lewis Hamilton into it. FIA blames tribalistic fans' behavior for Verstappen Horner booze. Tribalists. Hold on, tribalists. Verstappen and Red Bull have been somewhat unpopular in the United Kingdom ever since they came out on top in 2021 World Championship following a titanic season battle along with Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Ah, really? Is that when they started to become unpopular in the UK? Well, why don't you explain what happened in that race? You know, why don't you explain that? The booing was not to the FIA taste. Well, if they don't like the taste, and the motorsport governing body has released a statement where it condemned the crowd's attitude. Great rivalry throughout the history of motorsport have contributed, making it such an exciting experience for fans. An FIA spokesperson said, I wonder if Red Bull held a gun to their head so they came out in support for Red Bull. Or Red Bull just paying them that well. Because we know Red Bull is paying them. We know they're all Red Bull fanboys. That's why they gave them the championship, stole Lewis championship, gave it to Max in 2021. We know that. But they had to bring Lewis' name into it somehow. Yeah. It's not like Max and George hated each other last season, and George is British, so maybe British people don't like Max for various reasons. It's not like Max was crashing into Lando last season in 2024, and Lando is British. Yeah, they might hate Max because of what happened with Lando as well, and George and Lewis. But they gotta drag Lewis' name into it somehow for more clicks. And here's another comment. There are now literally 5 British drivers on the grid. Last year, Max went head-to-head with 2 of them, and Lewis is the only driver to mention in this article. Literally is rubbing me the wrong way. It's been 4 years since 2021. The fact that the part of this is actually the FIA's fault is kind of funny. They allowed 21 to happen and they allowed certain people to think they can do and say whatever they want. Now they have to deal with the consequence. I fully agree. Let's retweet that. Let's retweet most of this actually. Yeah, you never knew how to contain Max. You never tried. And now, the booing has hurt you. Well, cry about it then. And this is what Max said in 2021, especially when Lewis was being booed at the Zandvoort Grand Prix. If there's a little bit of booing, I guess just close your ears and don't listen to it. You do realize it is just an excuse not to go, right? He obviously doesn't care about the booing. Nah, he does care about the booing. They do care about the booing, but they're using it. They're using it to their advantage. Using fans booing as an excuse not to go next time is even more embarrassing. They're using it for victimism. They're using it to pretend like they're the victims. They're using it to get sympathy. They're using it for various things, but they're generally not using it um in the most honest ways. They're definitely not using it in the most honest ways. That is for damn sure. Yeah, Red Bull, Max, welcome to the real world. Oh my God, excuse a person for having feelings and not being made of stone. I keep telling people, Santa said he's keep telling people, always been lying when he said these things don't bother him or he doesn't care. He's threatened to headbutt journos. Yeah, he did threaten to headbutt people. He hit Ocon. Ocon should have slapped the shit out of him. I'd love to see him try to hit George or hit Lewis. Hit somebody who's gonna fuck you up. Hit somebody who's gonna hit you back. But he picks on Ocon because Ocon is a super nice guy. It's like picking on Pierre, the nicest guys on the grid. Yeah, well, but we've known for a while that Max is a bully, just like his dad, innit? That's what his dad raised him to do. Another comment said he should have the same energy he had when his fans booed Lewis. I agree. He should have the same energy. You should absolutely have the same energy because see, this guy had to deal with real problems in Formula One. Like you turn up and nobody likes you, nobody wants you next to them. Nobody thinks you deserve to be there. People keep saying that you're not fast enough despite winning over 105 wins, over 105 pole positions. Yep, this guy's the real champ. You couldn't deal with 10% of what this guy's dealt with his entire life. You couldn't deal with 10% of that. But look how young he looks. Look how great he looks, at 40 years old. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we ain't built the same, fam. They ain't like us. You're not built the same. You're not built like that. And you're not built for that. But what I do love is that there's just so many people and so many accounts that I've seen holding them accountable, literally holding them accountable, fully holding them accountable. It's a bit of booing, but of course the FIA who gifted Max Verstappen, he didn't win and then let Red Bull get away with breaking cost cap. Two things that directly contributed to Red Bull Max Verstappen unpopularity are conflating with the toxicity and abuse. Yeah, they let them get away with a lot. They've let them get away with a lot, and they will continue to get away with a lot because the other teams on the grid just they won't stand up to it. They won't stand up to it. Even Aldous, I don't even like Aldous. I don't even like Aldous. Not that way, But even Aldous said, I'm confused as to what the FIA wants to accomplish. Regardless of what you think of Max Horner or Red Bull, booing is a part of the sport. Drivers like Seb and Lewis were booed on podiums, let alone a launch event. And that's just part of the fan culture. No need to make the sport seem soft. Yeah, shit, I'm gonna retweet that. Even though I don't like this guy, I'm still gonna retweet that because that's a bar. Planet F1 deliberately seeks to harvest clicks from negative Lewis Hamilton headlines. Yeah, this is another conversation we need to have. Apparently Lewis was reportedly zero point 0.8 seconds slower than Charles Leclerc in Ferrari SF25 shakedown at Fiorano. But surprisingly, Lewis was faster in the Spanish testing. At the Barcelona track, Lewis was a little bit faster than Charles Leclerc, but they use everything to their advantage to get clicks. That's just a part of the sport, I guess. And for the most part, we accept it. Because they've been lying on this guy's name his entire career. But 105 wins speaks volume. The most successful driver of all time, the greatest driver of all time. Yeah, not just in Formula One, in the world, in all motorsport, because Formula One lives above them. Yeah, bro. Like a lot of people were holding the FIA accountable for the BS that they try to pull off. Try to put out statements. Well, they did successfully put out statements, but we didn't hold back. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember the FIA releasing statements when bullying subjects were not affiliated to an energy drinks brand. It was all culture and respect then. Yeah, yeah. When other people are getting bullied, they don't say anything unless it's their favorite guys. Unless it's their favorite guys. Listen, whoever the FIA supports, I automatically can't like that person anymore. I automatically can't because I just got so much questions, about integrity because they've never had integrity. The FIA, no, they've never had integrity, fam. Never. You know how long they've been doing things. Dutch GP Max urges Lewis not to respond to boo. F1 heads to Zandvoort. If there's a little bit of boo, I guess just close your ears. Don't listen to it, says home favorite Max Verstappen. Yeah. Yep. 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 We got receipts. We do have receipts. We do have receipts. Do you remember this? Do you remember this when Max Verstappen brake checked Lewis Hamilton? The FIA found him guilty. Even his own team came out and said, yep, he brake checked Lewis Hamilton. And what did the FIA do? They waited until the race is finished. They waited to see where the next driver behind Max would finish. And then they gave Max a penalty that wouldn't affect his position. And I believe it was Bottas. Yeah, Toto was pissed, fam. And I believe it was Bottas who literally was behind Max. Finish was 13 seconds behind Max or 14 seconds, something like that. They gave Max like a 10-second penalty, which doesn't affect him. And they might have given him 1 or 2 points on his license. That's it. That's it for brake check, by the way. For brake check, one of the most dangerous things you could do in this sport. So Lewis was hunting him down the entire race. Yes, the great Lewis Hamilton. Max could not deal with that pressure. And what did he resort to was cheating, 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 dirty driving, fam. Dirty driving, dirty cunt like driving, cowardly driving, cowardly driving, cowardly driving. That's what he resorted to. So, I'll say it 1,000 times. George is right. This guy cannot delete. This guy cannot deal with any adversity or any real competition. He folds like a little girl. He folds like a fake poker player. Can't deal with it. He cannot deal with it. Listen, I think we might end the video here. We got some other stuff to talk about. This idiot right here. We got some other stuff to talk about. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more, and I will see you in the next one.